Okay, we will. Assalamualaikum all. Thank you for coming. We're gonna continue last week's progress. Last week kita stop kat mana?
Last week kita stop dekat group 4 sir.
Group 4. Maksudnya 1, 2, 3 dah habis.
1, 2, 3, 4 dah habis. Yang kelima, 6 belum.
5, 6 dulu. Okay, right. Good. So we go down to group 5 ya. Right. Right. Group 5, are you guys here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Can you
Yes, sir.
proceed? Can you appoint someone, or you as a group you want to chip in every the answer? So you choose Fuller, yeah?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Proceed, please. Yeah, can you start? Have you decided who is going to speak? Farah. The rest of the group boleh tanya soalan eh. You can ask question anytime. Stop them anytime if you are not clear. Okay, proceed.
Alright. So we choose Fuller.
Right.
So that is number 1.
Yes, good.
Okay. So for number 2 is the Fuller is a naturalist. So this one is the explanation of natural law.
Okay. So
Alright.
the content of natural law of his is in what way? Apa yang dia try to put forward?
They try to put forward that that
Morality and law is not separated.
Okay. Morality and law. The law have to be yeah, okay.
yes.
Okay. The law have to be moral. And in what way that the law have to be moral? Why? Why it has to be moral? Tak ada dalam jawapan ni.
Because not all law is good. Sometimes certain law could be violence to the society. So that's why we need to consider the morality as well.
Okay. What do you mean? What do you mean by the natural law was formed based on human disposition of reasoning between good and bad?
Because so natural law could differentiate between the good law and the bad law.
Okay. What else that you want to put in? The rest of the group or rest of the class members, do you have anything that you want to add? Fuller dia senang sikit ya. It's just a matter of looking at the morality of the law itself. So what do you mean by morality? Then that is something that is natural. Yeah. So you want to relate here, you want to bold the natural law. You want to also identify, okay, that is, the one thing that I realized that is missing here is the evidence.
Evidence
Bawah.
case ke sir dekat bawah.
Kat bawah. Mana dia?
Ya. Tu
Okay.
tu.
Right. So this is the one that you put as example.
Yep.
Okay, right. When you put here Nazi's laws, do you relate to the 8 Desiderata? Because you discuss, kalau you tengok ni, you discuss the morality of law by giving the internal and external, and then the 8 Desiderata, and then you only then you present the law. So whenever you present this law, this law must be able to and must cover the whole thing that you mentioned above.
Oh, I see.
Why? Because if you were to come up with an example, legal example, you are to elaborate within the law itself of all the things that you have mentioned above. So you boleh kena ada internal, external. The word internal, external mesti ada kat dalam ni. Somewhere here, within this. Okay. And then the 8 Desiderata talking about generality, promulgation and things like that must be also discussed dalam ni.
Okay, sir.
It's quite lengthy lah macam tu. Yeah. So if you want to do another approach, then you can put it in here as the example, kan, kat sini, somewhere here. You put in as an example. Any law would be reasonable for you to use. Okay, our current law, you know, you don't have to go to Western world in order for you to get that example. You can utilize the law we have. Say for example, law of torts. Yeah, that is based on natural law. Okay, why? Because we have this federal constitution provision. Okay, then later on we have the internal and external morality, and then you put in another example that you can highlight. So you can put here and there the examples that you want to prove. Yeah, the reason that you are doing all this to prove the statement that was made by the jurist. In this case, Fuller lah. Boleh? So you don't have to.
Boleh, sir.
You don't have to actually explain the Hitler regime, you know, harmful to morality in terms of. You have to relate harmful to morality because you have to relate back to the things that you mentioned here. Internal, it doesn't have internal morality, doesn't have the external morality, it doesn't have it does the rata, you know, in that way. So this is general description or commentary about the Hitler law. Boleh nampak tak? Nampak macam dia tak nampak je?
Nampak sir, nampak. Kena
Ya.
relate balik.
Dia kena relate balik because you want to prove. Ni general statement. Yes, you can make a general statement as you like.
Nampak sir.
Yeah, you can do that. But the main thing is for you to fall back to the things that is mentioned dalam Fuller punya formula. So all the formula must be shown in terms of its existence dalam law. So you letak kat sini, this is good. Internal Security Act. Yes, this is good. Right? You have cases and things. So this should be the one that shows in terms of his idea, but you have to relate to the internal, external, and the 8 desiderata. Right. Now you are talking about the application, right? Right? Oh, yang ni bukan application to the problem lagi. Okay, this is even better. You have mentioned everything in terms of the application of those 8 desiderata, kan? I don't know. You tell me.
Yes, sir. Lepas tu number 8 baru application.
Right. Okay. So number 8 is mainly about 605 VC. Yeah. So okay. Can you explain this one?
Can sir. Okay. Hello. Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah. I can.
Okay. For the application, we apply the facts to the law that we have stated tadi. Should I read it, sir?
Yeah, you can. No problem.
Okay, in the situation given, the Vice Chancellor's Act that has been really active in political campaign shows that the provision under Act 605 which restrained the university lecturer from participating in the politics, has not been followed by the Vice Chancellor as an official. It obviously shows one of Fuller's desiderata in making law has been violated, which is for the law to be followed by officials. He has also defeated the purpose of having the Act 605, as according to Fuller, the actual purpose of having a law is to subject human conduct to the governance of the law, of the rules. The Vice Chancellor's Act has gone against the aspect of morality of duty set out by Fuller, as no action has been taken against him when he personally participated in the political campaign could lead to chaos where there are some lecturers such as Ahmad who are not satisfied with that particular situation. It will prevent the society from functioning smoothly as highlighted by Fuller.
Very good. Very good.
Furthermore,
Uh-huh.
the act that was enacted clearly deprived the lecturers' right as a citizen in exercising their freedom of expression with regards to any issues that arise in the country. The act that was enacted clearly contradicts the federal constitution, which is the supreme law in our country, where Article 10 has clearly conferred the right to every citizen to enjoy the freedom of speech and expression in expressing their beliefs, thoughts, ideas, and emotions, subjected to several restrictions. The lawmakers have clearly violated the eight desiderata that was set out by Fuller in ensuring that the law must be consistent and no contradiction.
Wait, the lawmakers ni, you are referring to whom?
Parliament.
So you are saying that the law itself in general 605 is against the fundamental liberties of the citizens.
Yes, sir.
You should make it clear.
Oh,
So
the
you are to elaborate further.
Okay, sir.
You were saying just now.
Um, um, what I mean is, the sentence is general. We put the sentence as a general, sir, as general, like
Oh,
for
you cannot be
laws,
doing that
right?
because you are to elaborate and express your opinion on it.
Okay, sir.
Okay, based on Fuller lah. You always come back to the main principle, which is apa?
Eight
Right.
It desiderata.
It desiderata, the internal and
And the
external,
morality.
relate all these words, yeah. And then the
Mm-mm.
morality, the concept of morality, which is you can see from the requirement of the test. The test is eight desiderata, meaning the eight requirement that you have to have inside the law in order for the law to be moral. Yeah. Okay, good.
Okay, sir.
So utilizing that eight requirement or eight condition, then you goreng je lah. Yeah, you goreng along that line. You're not going to be wrong.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Understand,
9
sir.
is your conclusion, eh?
Conclusion.
So
Sir,
yeah.
You said that apa Fuller kan ada 8 desiderata tu, so we have to like fulfill all the 8 desiderata tu ke?
Yes. It has to be all.
Or meaning that if satu tak ada, tak boleh lah.
Yes, satu tak ada tenang. Macam you argument you letak kat sini kan, you kata sini. Mana dia?
Bawah sikit.
Number seven lah sini. Tu sir.
Number 7.
Defeated the purpose tu kan.
Kan you kata the BC obviously shows one of the fullest 8 desiderata has been violated. One that has been violated, meaning you have to fulfill all. If you did not fulfill only one, then the whole thing collapse.
Okay.
By making this statement dah betul lah ni. So you kata Vice Chancellor, dia punya duty is to make sure that the application of the law, and he himself must make sure that he is also following the law. Betul tak?
Betul.
Betul, sir.
Now he fails, he fails in one of the criteria. So but the thing is that you have to identify. You ada mention tak apa yang dia silap dekat sini? Dekat mana ni? Dia kita obviously show one of the, which one? If you're talking one,
yang law to be followed by officials tu, sir.
yes. Kalau you letak situ law, ada you mention ke you tulis? From participation. Has not been followed by the, then there is one of the desiderata lah. So kalau you nak emphasize, you letak kata which is one of the main criteria of the 8 condition. Yeah, you letak situ lah. Apa yang you refer ni, because sometimes if you do this, what you can do is cut and paste yang atas tu, mana tu? Obedience, possibility followed by officials, yeah. So you want to mention this, then you bawa bawah tu lah. Yeah. Okay. Which by follow 8 condition is macam ni pun boleh lah. Okay, followed by officials. Meaning you are trying to stress the link between followed by officials and not being followed by the VC. Betul tak?
Betul, sir.
Okay. So always emphasize, jangan tak berani to make your opinion heard, because you are to apply. So therefore, a lot of your argument, discussion, your critique. Yeah, right. Siapa yang last? Okay, last group, group 6.
Okay, sir. Can I share my screen or?
Yeah, please. You take over the screen.
Okay.
Sakna, I cancel.
Alright. Okay, sir.
Okay.
And
Group 7 punya fuller, any questions from the group? From anyone in the class? Ada tak?
No question for me, sir.
Okay, good. So continue with group 6 then.
alright. Okay, sir. For our group, we chose John Austin, who was a positivist also. And then we start our answer by defining what is positivism.
Good.
And then we also number John Austin as first number, and then we continue with Austin's definition theory of law, which is common theory of law.
Very good.
And then this theory states that law is a command made by the sovereign, backed by an evil sanction.
Good.
And then
Number 4.
number 4, we wait, sir. Before that,
Actually, number 4 tu dekat statutory bodies, discipline surcharge act.
this one kan, sir, kan?
Austin positive law. Tak. You have to prove, because you are now referring to Act 605, which is the question kan. Jangan masuk lagi. So what you need to prove is that you prove there is an evidence of a law that similar to what Austin is saying. So you kata penal code is one good example that we can refer to as a law that relates to the principle of command theory.
Sir, I think we mentioned that dekat bawah we relate to his theory dekat bawah. We did mention penal code which conform to his comment of theory later.
Betul, mana?
Dekat sini.
The third condition.
Conclusion? Why you have to do it in conclusion? Because you have to prove the theory application to the current law that we have. So any example, you jangan tinggal dia kat bawah. What is the point of the section 302 mentioned at the end? It does not bring any kind of correlation. You want to bring the correlation of that particular section to the theory. Faham tak? I know you can put it anywhere, but you must have that kind of relationship. So di sini dia kata must back by sanction. Oh, sana ni application ke belum?
Belum lagi sir. Kita tak masuk lagi dekat bahagian
Belum.
condition.
Okay, so you boleh letak dekat yang siapa yang ada arrow merah tu. Okay, so
This one.
you can say that you know, you are going to make the explanation of each elements of the theory down below.
Faham?
Kan maksudnya you buat macam seolah-olah you storytelling lah.
Oh, okay.
So meaning you are telling the reader, I'm going to discuss each one of them below, and I will give them the example, the explanation of the principle will be discussed individually below. Boleh tak?
Before
Whatever,
that, sir,
yeah.
sorry, before that, should we also distinguish that the statutory bodies yang Act 605 ni is a human-made law? Also,
Tak perlu. Kita discuss dia bila kita nak discuss dia. Kita present dia bila kita nak discuss. You don't show something without relevance to your discussion.
Okay, so meaning this one boleh delete lah sir?
Bukan delete, kita bawa pergi dekat discussion prior to discuss the VC punya ni, sebab then only baru kita nak cakap about that particular law, the Act 605 as being positive law and things like that. Remember?
Oh.
Ini you patutnya cut and then paste dekat bawah sebelum kita dalam application tu. The first instances of application. So you bawa dia turun, pergi kat application. Where is the application?
This one, application.
Okay, you kena buka daripada awal. Then paste dia, Control B. Right.
Alright.
Then you are talking about that particular. Now you're talking about the problem, kan? So the discussion is about that. Baru nampak proper. Otherwise you'll be jumping here and there.
Alright.
Right. So 302 tadi bawa naik atas as an example, then you stop it and in concluding that the theory is actually can be seen from the actual existence of a law, which is 302 Penal Code.
Oh,
Boleh tak ni?
kejap sir. Sebab kita orang buat macam every condition ni kita orang buat cara relate dengan macam bagi example. So macam first condition yang there must be a common, we give example as universities and university college act ni. Yang this one.
I see. So every limb of Austin punya theory, you dah bagi discussion dah.
Yes.
Tak apa, tak ada hal. Okay.
And then at the last part, we mentioned about appetite law, which applied all the limbs.
Boleh. Tapi itu comparative lah. You kena buat comparative awal-awal. Maksudnya, bila you kata Penal Code ada semua kan, 8 Desiderata, kita ni pula.
Bukan. Dan Austin.
I dah pening dah. Kalau lah kata Austin, you show that the existence of a law that reflects Austin punya theory, and then you show a law, another law somewhere else, that is not not addressing what Austin is trying to say. So pro and cons lah. Bukan pro and cons, kata okay, yalah boleh lah kita ambil pro and cons. Bukan pro and cons, that is not the word. The one that is meeting the requirement and the one that is not meeting the requirement.
Okay, but we thought we should explain his common theory of law first, and then dah habis all the three limbs baru mention about contoh law yang apply the definition.
Boleh,
So
boleh.
that's why
Mana-mana pun boleh sebenarnya, tak ada hal. Because the thing is, as long as the ingredient is there. Meaning, kadang-kadang student, when they answer, they only concentrate on the theory alone. That's it. They thought that jurisprudence is only talking about theory. So they just mention about the theory without showing the evidence of a law that meets the theory, number one. And number two, they are unable to apply. That is the weaknesses of the student. Which if I am looking at your answer, it should be there lah. Tak ada issue sangat lah. Cumanya arrangement sana sini lah, is up to you. Kan? I mean, it is up to you lah, you which one. Tapi dia sepatutnya it is in flow that people will be able to see your the clarity of your mind.
Oh.
Bila kita nak susun, kita nak cakap, kita kena ada proper, proper structure and flow of the thought. Yeah. So when people read your answer, they at least they know the clarity of thought you.
Faham?
Okay, sir.
Soalan?
Okay, and then sir,
Yes.
nak go one by one ke for the conditions ataupun terus straight?
Tolong for the benefit of the group, because dia orang tak buat Austin kan, you yang buat Austin, so you are to educate them in your approach, because dia orang ada ilmu, dia orang the same problem, but for other juries kan, you are the one that yeah. Can you share with them?
Okay. Okay, so there are 3 conditions that need to be fulfilled in order for a law to be valid according to Austin's perspective.
Very good.
For condition, there must be a command, and the command can be particular and also can be general. For example, for particular command or specific command can be seen in True Universities and University Colleges Act, which only applicable to university students, not for the public at large.
Very good.
Whereas general commands, for example, is federal constitution, because it was addressed to the community at large and every citizen of Malaysia is bound by it.
Good.
And then next condition is the command must be made by the sovereign. And then sovereignty can exist in 2 forms. So the first form is that a body that is composed of persons determined specifically or individually. For example, a king. Whereas the second form is a body that comprises all the people who belong to a given class. An example of this is a Supreme Parliament. And the Supreme must also secure the habit of obedience, which means that if the people in that state rarely obeys him or only obeys him temporarily, he will lose his sovereignty. And according to Austin's view, this power owned by the sovereign must be indivisible and not limited by law. So in other words, it means that there must be nothing above the sovereign's command and the sovereign must not be bound by any law.
Okay. For the second one, Supreme, King tu okay lah, kita boleh understand lah. Absolute monarch, absolute monarch, that absolute monarch is in total control. But when it comes to parliament, he did mention about a group of people that people obey, that they have the command. You mentioned about the Supreme Parliament. Supreme Parliament means a parliament, a state or nation that you have a parliament that is supreme. In our situation, we don't confuse with us. We do have a supreme of the federation in terms of the federal constitution. Federal constitution for us is the supreme. It's not the parliament. So guys in the class, don't mix up, don't be confused. So whenever you apply Austin, you must remember that application of Austin into Malaysia is weak. Yeah, it is weak because it does not meet the first requirement. Yeah. So in your answer, everyone, in your answer, make sure that you don't cite Austin lah, because Austin requirement is not true here in Malaysia. Because kita ada separation of power and things like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright.
Oh, so sebenarnya dalam examination we don't have to cite John Austin lah. Tak payah masukkan.
If the question asks you to discuss Austin ataupun the word positivism, and then you have to discuss.
Oh, kalau like this question,
kalau lah soalan ni dia kata any juris kan? Any juris, then you can put Austin in, tetapi you can contradict Austin.
Okay.
You can because this is general kan, dia tak kata kan you are not to discuss Austin. So kalau you nak letak juga, it's up to you. So you can always discuss, but eventually the conclusion you will say that tak boleh pakai lah.
Yes, and we did that in our application.
You did that. Oh, very good, very good. Okay, so continue with the
The third
for the
condition, sir?
please.
For the third condition, the command must be backed by sanction. And we give example as section 302 of Penal Code, which provides the mandatory death for the offence of murder. And then we further continue our discussion with divided positivism into two, which is exclusionary positivism and inclusionary positivism. And John Austin's view is inclined to exclusionary positivism, whereby there is a strict separation between law and morality. And then
I have to stop you sekejap. The rest of the group faham tak exclusionary positivism? Do you want them to explain? The rest of the group, I mean class members, do you want Alia to explain or brief it up to you? Semua dah faham? Tak ada respon. Tak ada respon ni.
Faham, sir?
Faham eh? Betul?
Faham, sir.
Cerita Asad.
ataupun tak apa, sir.
Kalau dah faham tu cerita Asad.
Tak apa, sir.
Sir?
Yes.
Sementara volunteer nak ni explain.
Siapa? Atika? Ya.
I just want to reconfirm from our group's understanding, exclusionary positivism ni macam John Austin, dia bagi strict separation between law and morality. If inclusionary positivism ni dia macam hard, whereby macam he did not mention yang ada mix between law and morality, but from his theory dia macam adalah dia punya mix tu, tapi dia tak specifically mention.
Dia tahu waktu dia dah buat dia punya teori tu ada something is wrong, right? So he had to give some kind of position jugalah. Dia kena ada provision for that theory to make sense. So dia ada inclusion of that ni lah. Dia panggil exclusion positivism, meaning something is along the line of morality, in terms of tak ada punishment punya law kan, kita ada national land code is more on procedural kan, tak ada punishment pun. Jadi macam tu lah. Okay. For the rest, ada issue? Ada tadi ramai yang bercakap bagus. That's good. Tiba-tiba hilang. Hampa ni semua sekali setuju kita cakap ramai-ramai. Jadi okay, anyone? Please. Ada tak?
No,
Ani?
sir.
Yes? Okay, good. Okay, right. Continue, guys.
Okay. And then we give example of apartheid law, which applies John Austin's view on what is law. And because this law fulfill the three conditions by John Austin, therefore it is a valid law, and the citizen of South Africa is obliged have to obey, even though one may argue that such law is a bad law.
Okay, macam mana you boleh come to conclusion of apartheid being a good law?
Because it fulfills the three conditions of having command given by the sovereign and backed by sovereign.
Yes, okay. Even though orang lain kata it's not a good law, how can you say that? But as far as Austin punya application of theory, then as long as benda tu tiga-tiga ada lah. Maksudnya that is a valid law lah.
Yes.
Yes, good. Any feedback or any questions that you want to ask? The rest? Wow, okay. We have finished the task.
Oh, so application?
Application, ya Allah. Lupa tak saya. Okay, application, yes.
Okay, so first for the application, first we distinguish yang Act 605 ni is a man-made law, not law from God. And then we continue. examine whether such act fulfills the three conditions under Austin's common theory of law. And then for the first condition,
So the
Okay,
word whether kan, you katakan whether the act fulfill three condition, that is the question. So the
Yeah.
first condition, macam mana?
so for the first condition, it can be seen that there is a command which is
Mhm.
the act, and in this situation, one of the commands in the act is the lecturer has to obtain permission from the vice chancellor before making any public statement regarding any issues in the country.
Very good.
And then this command may fall under particular command since it is addressed to one group of persons which are the lecturers. And
Mm-mm.
since Ahmad is a public university lecturer in Malaysia, he is obliged to obey this command.
Very good. So nampak tak, you elaborate. Kalau dalam exam, for the rest of the class members, you are to elaborate, not to just state and then let go. So you boleh goreng kat situ, you goreng-goreng ya, jangan hangit je lah. Right, continue with the second one.
Alright, okay. So with the second condition, it can also be seen that the act was passed by the parliament, which is a second form of sovereignty. However, the Parliament of Malaysia is known to be able to secure the habit of obedience. This is because a huge portion of the Malaysian citizens would obey the law made by parliaments. Hence, the habit of obedience exists. And like what has been stated above, Austin believed that the sovereign shall not be subjected to the command that he gives, as the orders are directed to others and not himself. Therefore, with regards to the Malaysian Parliament, they are not above the law. No one in Malaysia is above the law. Hence, the law that Parliament makes would bind themselves to. So this means that the Malaysian Parliament cannot be considered as sovereign in Austin's point of view. Therefore, the second condition is not fulfilled.
Yeah, the word that you use, macam nevertheless, however. So those word is the link words between one sentence to another, can be utilized in order for you to put your point across. Dia macam ni kan, macam seolah-olah you are trying to support Austin in a way that it is correct. Tapi you did not manage to put it in a negative. Bila dia kata no one in Malaysia is above the law, you patut, with regards to the Malaysian Parliament, however, in this situation, they are not above the law. In this situation, they are not above the law. Because you kena bagi justification lepas law tu, because the supreme law to Malaysia is the federal constitution.
Okay.
Nampak clear. So the federal constitution. Therefore, tulis situ, dekat situ, therefore, no one in Malaysia is above the law. Nampak? Hence, baru dia kata hence, the law of parliament makes that parliament makes yourself. Tak faham. Hence,
and the law that parliament makes would bind themselves to.
This means that the Malaysian Parliament cannot be considered as sovereign, as what Austin point out. Okay, right, good. So di situ you patah balik and then matikan dia. Yeah, you put it a stop, saying that is not the proper law for us to follow. Right, the third one. Oh, tak payah. Sorry. Meaning you have done that. Maksudnya you bila you dalam court nanti, you tekan orang sampai dia mati. Yeah, if you are the judge, you are the lawyer, you want to win the argument and drive it home, orang panggil, drive that point home, meaning nobody is able to do anything else after that. Jadi kalau nak tumbuk orang, tumbuk sampai dia pengsan. Setengah orang dalam movie selalu dia bila dia tembak sekali biar orang tu jatuh. Lepas tu sekali dia boleh bangun lagi. I mean, what a stupid act. Kalau nak tembak bagi dia mati. Make sure tembak kat kepala dah habis cerita. Dia tak mungkin naik balik kecuali dia zombie lah. Right. I hope that you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yes, sir. Faham, sir.
Okay. The last one.
Okay, the last one, the third condition, it can be seen that the act is backed by sanction because in Ahmad's situation, Since such rule is embedded in act, thus any act of disobedience will call for disciplinary action by the university towards the lecturer.
So
In
jadi
the
di situ you underline disciplinary action.
oh,
The word itself, disciplinary action tu dah kira that is sanction lah. Okay. In the end,
in the end, the sanction might include the lecturers getting suspended or expelled from the university. And this would definitely
suspended expel tu pun boleh underline.
okay.
Okay.
And then this would definitely cause hardship to the lecturers and their reputation would be tarnished.
Itu
In
after effect.
addition, this one the after effect.
Apa it's okay tu. Okay, good.
Okay dah.
In addition to that,
The sanctions would instill fear among other lecturers, causing them to obey the command and thus achieving the objective of such command, which is to restrict lecturers' political freedom.
yeah, good. Okay, good.
Okay. And then in regards to the situation where Ahmad believed that the law under the Act is not a valid law, since it is unfair and immoral as it restricts the political freedom of lecturers who do not support the ruling political party, it is important to note that Ahmad's concern is immaterial, as morality is not one of the conditions of a valid law according to Austin's theory. And then
Asal you kata macam tu?
sebab Austin dia pakai exclusionary.
Kenapa Ahmad kata morality?
Oh,
Why you took Ahmad's morality punya point of view?
Because the question, Jason, because we infer from the question yang kata
advise Ahmad regarding the various jurisprudential school on thought on whether the state should interfere. So interfere it's not his opinion but his legal punya argument.
oh, because we tengok dekat question yang besar yang dia kata Ahmad feels that the act protects the culture of sycophancy in universities.
Betul. Ahmad feels that if he were to brought this case to the court, then it has to be challenged by virtue of its validity, right? So jadi the issue is not about his feeling, it's about the validity of the act. Itu yang soalan tu dia tanya bukannya berkenaan dengan Ahmadnya feeling, tapi whether Ahmad can validly question the law. So balik pada situ, what you can do is to do what? You dalam tu
so dia kata walaupun the law is not morality, it is considered as valid law.
Tak payah morality, because morality is done. You dah sembang morality is not in the formula at all. Jadi what you have to do here dekat sini you kata pertaining to the criteria of Austin, which is 3, one of the criteria is not being met. Okay. So buang Ahmad lah. It is not important about Ahmad's morality point of view. Tak payah delete the whole thing, tak apa. Dengan the whole thing, no. Ahmad saja. Ahmad tu.
Ahmad beli.
It is yeah. Okay. It is important to note that Ahmad it is important to note Ahmad concern tu yang tu delete.
Semua ni?
And then terus masukkan dengan final. Yang tu delete. And then masuk terus sambung dengan the conclusion. Because dia sama antara these two paragraph.
Oh, kejap sir. So meaning okay, kejap. In regards to the situation, the law which is the act is not the valid law, and then is unfair and immoral ni pun delete juga.
Buang.
Oh, terus conclusion.
Because kita duk tengok from Austin point of view. So the argument of morality ke tidak, that is not an issue.
Oh, tapi sama.
I think sama je.
Sama je lah kalau kita delete semua kan. In conclusion, dia kata Parliament is not valid law to the point of John Austin because the law is not a command given by sovereign. Okay. Apa maksud command given by a sovereign, you dah tahu dah, kita dah discuss. You don't have to repeat again. Sometimes some student would like to repeat it again. Don't do that mistake. So you because you have to move to another juris. Because dalam soalan ni, as I mentioned last week, kita kalau soalan tu datang dalam exam, dia minta banyak juris. So you nak letak banyak juris. So there is no point for you to reiterate again and again. Okay. So enough for you to do this. Point of view of John Austin, as the law is not a command given by sovereign, since it is not valid, the state is not entitled to interfere with the conduct of individual, especially the lecturer, by restricting their freedom of speech. Very good. Okay, you put that to rest. Okay, you put that argument to rest. Habis lah. That's it. You already answered. Yeah. Wow. Good. Yeah. All of you have improved a lot. From the first class. So I'm glad, I'm happy. So we will do another exercise which is going to be faster lah. Kan? Kalau kita buat another question from all the perspective of jurist, we should be able to see it clearly. Kalau kita guna point yang 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, then we should be doing it very fast, insyaAllah. So thank you very much guys for coming. Congratulations. So see you next week, inshallah.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I will pass you a
Thank you.
question and then in order for you to start doing it. Bye.
Right, sure. And
Take care. Yeah,
Sure.
Ani.
are we going to have our second assignment this Sunday?
Ya ke? Due date dah ada ke? Saya tak berapa ni.
Supposedly this Friday, this Sunday dapat the second assignment punya question.
Keep on reminding me because I have to remind Cik Nazim. For him because dia yang create the soalan.
Alright,
Yeah.
sure.
Alright, thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, bye. Take care.
Bye.
Aida. Sarah, do you have any question for me?